morning, everyone. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning. How are you?
Sleepy.
Running late as usual. How are you? I am sleepy.
I'm great. I love these rainy days off with your kids trapped in a house while you've got work to do
indeed.
and they just want to play video games and the smell of wet dog permeates. It's my favorite.
There you go.
So is that to mean that you don't allow them to just play video games all day?
No, Stuart does not allow them to play video games all day. I do. And I think I told you my in-laws are taking Ethan to Japan in a week. So he has to get his last tests done. He has to figure out what they're even going to be on because the information hasn't been taught yet. He needs to get ahead so he could test early and get out because he's missing the last week of school. So I will let him play all day, except I need to know that he's doing something for those early tests that he has to take. I need to know he's working towards getting done. I mean, he's done so well this year. For him to just play Fortnite for the next 7 days would be a real shame.
No, that I don't think I would like either. But it must be really fun to try and parent with someone who's so go, go, go all the time when you're so not go.
Yeah, it sucks. It really does. They're like, I know what to ask mommy and I know what to ask dad. So they'll come to me for, can I just do this for a little while longer? Sure, go ahead. And Stuart's like, have you cleaned your room? Have you walked the dogs? Have you run 6 miles? Have you got, like, he just has a checklist.
Right.
And
I was going to say, have you run 6
way.
miles? I didn't know he would get funny about chores.
Oh, yeah.
Because I actually did do that. Like, they weren't allowed to do X, Y, and Z unless they did their chores. But, I can just see Stuart being like, have you helped a friend today?
Have you been kind in 11 different ways? Oh,
have you been kind or quiet?
Yes, that is my line. Be kind or be quiet. Yeah, that's my line. That's fucked up that you remember that.
Come on. It was said a lot.
Well, in my kids' youth, it certainly was. How was your weekend or the first half of your weekend?
So the first half of my weekend was kind of a bummer because I was so excited for him to like the pool is open here and like we were going to go, and he spent the night. So I got home from New York and I was fine the next day. And then the day after that.
Let's do New York first. Do New York first. Did you have all of the right outfits? Did everything fit? Did all of your glossing and spraying and tanning and everything?
It worked out well.
Okay.
I think that it went over well. I will say that whatever slight enamoring that I had with the individual in question that I saw briefly there is now
gone.
Completely gone. So
is that what they tell you? Don't meet your heroes because all of a sudden you're always disappointed.
He's a good friend. So he's not a hero, certainly. Let's not go there. But he is, he was a really good friend that I think my brain decided to, like a tick, sort of like latch on and suck something that didn't exist there so that I didn't have to deal with other things. Because I'm not saying there was any question that it wasn't going to, it was just like just spending one-on-one time with this person was a blessing because it allowed me to distract myself with whatever little
so you cleared up that, and everybody is flesh and bone, totally mortal,
like our relationship didn't change one bit. Like it was from start to finish the exact same.
The shine is off the apple. Ago.
I mean, and he didn't do. I mean, there was nothing specific that he did or didn't do. It was just like, I think because I was there by myself, and I was it was like a perfect storm. I was there by myself. I was in Times Square, which I haven't been staying in Times Square like that since I was a little kid. I was able to walk around New York and just get my thoughts together by myself, think about the things I wanted by myself, and just like enjoy the touristy aspects of New York, which I haven't done since I was a kid. Like, I mean, by that, I just mean like the last time I was there was with Emily and Nathan in their Hebrew school class. And we went to like the Tenement Museum, and like, it wasn't like
the Lower East Side, right?
Yeah. It wasn't like we got to piddle around and like stare at the lights, and like, it was kind of glorious. And then I was just like, I don't know, once I could just think about me for a minute, that just like poof, disappeared.
you have these revelations every time you go away for 4 days by yourself. You really do. You have these like amazing epiphanies. And instead of having it build up and then you go away with all tension and have this experience, why don't you ahead of time know that you need this time and just like write it into your calendar and already schedule it before it even gets to the point where you're needing me time so desperately. Like I have a t-shirt from my kids' camp that says, Nakamixon parent, we wait 10 months for 2. There's a certain point. Yeah, there is a certain point in the year where I think I'm going to kill someone. And then I think, make it to the goal line. You can do this. Push through. I guess that's what people who exercise do. Only 4 more. Like they have a thing in their head where you can do anything for just 4 more or 10 more seconds or whatever it is. And if you know it's coming, which is the reason why I'm on Ethan's ass over this next week to get his stuff done. Because after that, he's gone. He's gone for 2 weeks. He's home for 48 hours and then he's off to camp. So I just have to get him through school, and then he's got to see that light. And if you see that light, then maybe it makes all the other tensions and projects you're doing and all the other crap you need to do a little bit easier.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
That's a good idea.
Or
I should
not.
be doing
or fuck
that.
it.
No,
just
I should be doing that. I travel enough for podcast related things where, okay, so I have one in February, one in the summer, and then one in the fall. So that's 3 times a year. If I could put in another 2 random little days in there, I think I would be good.
Like long weekends without having to get a concussion. That would be great.
Yes.
Right? Wouldn't that be lovely if you didn't have to factor in the concussion?
It would. It would be amazing. So yeah, so that was really helpful. And then I got to see a camp friend and I got to see one of my college roommates and I got to see
That's nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. I did not get a concussion. But then I came home with a fever and I was sweating it out for like 2 days and he had to go to Laura's. Then he came back with pink eye, which brings us to this weekend. So he came back with pink eye and Saturday was the only hot day. And that was the day he was all goopy and I couldn't get him to the doctor till Sunday where they said, you can go in the pool if he wants. And now it's been freezing cold. So I guess we'll wait till next weekend. But let's see what else. I mean, other than that, it's been very stress-free. What did I take him to do yesterday? Nothing, probably. Did we go to the store? Oh, he had dinner at my mom's, which he never has happened before. So that was nice.
Did he like it?
He had a glorious time. Yes. Good. He always loves going. Anywhere he goes, he doesn't want to come home. So it's good because he's always like, as soon as he walks in, he goes, I'm not leaving, which is the same as you're not going anywhere. When they get it to our house.
Yeah, he's your boss, too.
When they get to our house, you're not going anywhere. I'm not leaving. Yes, you are. You're going home. No, I'm not. And then, like, we took him to the movies, actually, on Saturday. And the whole time, he was like, I'm not going to your house. I'm going back to Yaya's. I'm like, no, you're not. And then he would turn and go, Yaya, Yaya. And I'm like, Isaac, I just answered you. And he would go, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Yaya.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You sassy little bugger. I don't know what you're going to do with that. What did you take him to see?
Oh, my God. The worst movie ever created, Show Dogs.
I heard that wasn't for him. I heard that wasn't for him because it has dogs touching their parts and having a totally inappropriate scene or two.
He didn't even notice. He was like, he wasn't even watching it. It was terrible.
No, perfect.
Keep his attention. But yes, it does have that. Go to your happy place. When they do the genital inspection, they tell the dogs to go to their
weird.
Happy place. They were supposed to have edited it, but they didn't.
That's weird. We had some family. My in-laws were here for a bit because Stuart's niece graduated from the University of Delaware this weekend.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so they came to us. Mallory was in a Shakespeare festival, so she did some acting. And
that seems perfect for her.
Yeah, except she doesn't think so. I said, Mallory, you were fabulous. Would you consider? No, I don't want to do it. I don't act. I just did Shakespeare. I'm like, you're all right. I'm not arguing with you. I want to encourage. She doesn't want to act. She doesn't think that's for her. I think she thinks all acting has to do with being an excellent singer, and she doesn't see herself as an excellent singer, so she doesn't want to engage. So I don't know. She doesn't want to do it. Fine.
There are so many actors and actresses that can't sing.
So I had my in-laws here for a while, and I took them to the Amish market. I got a six-pack
love
of
it?
what's not to love. They got a six-pack of donuts for my kids. I got my father-in-law that 7-pound Boston cream donut, which he enjoyed. And I didn't eat any of it. My big mistake Friday, though, was not eating really because I'm doing that intermittent fasting thing. And then taking my vitamins. Do you know better than to take vitamins on a ridiculously empty stomach?
I do. I have made that mistake.
And what happened to you?
Horrible vomiting.
Oh, vomiting. Mine went the other way. Friday at 2 o'clock, I went to pick up my children from school. And I'm waiting in the parking lot. Their parking lots are like dumbbells. They're attached through a parking lot. Their schools are attached.
I know where this is going, but I'm scared for you.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Ethan outside his school. And, it's Friday. The kids are coming out like pushing each other and they're hanging out. I'm in the parking lot before the bell rings and I hear,
oh my.
And I'm like, just stop. I'm like, oh no. I think we all know what that sound is and I know what's coming.
It's anger.
So it's the anger inside. So I text Ethan, hurry, right? And then I feel pressure with the like this is not good. So I hear the bell and they slowly start coming out. Luckily, for some reason, kids don't use their lockers. I don't know what it is. They carry all of their stuff all of the time. So he comes out and they're like goofing off and I call him because yeah. So I have this theory.
Warning.
That's what the or was. Exactly.
Yeah, it is.
So,
exactly.
Mallory's in her last year at this middle school and Ethan's in his first year at the high school, right? So my thought was I need to get to a turlet and I need to do it right now. There's never been more urgency for anything in the world than doing this right now. So I think if I go into the middle school, I hope I make it, number one. And number two, I could trash a toilet there and we're done in a week, right? 2 weeks, we're done at that school. I never have to look back. I never have to go to my last committee meetings. I could do what I need to do and get out. Well, I see
that was ambitious.
Right. I was like, I could do it. And then I was like, I can't stand up. Like, that's my issue. I'm sitting in the car. I'm don't move, concentrate, focus. I'm like, Zen Buddha. I'm like, I could do this. Focus. You could do anything for 10 seconds. Then another.
Not
right.
that.
So Ethan's coming and I call him and I said, I gotta go. Like, let's go. So he hurries. He gets in the car. His friend waves. His friend's so lovely. I'm like, hi. I'm trying to put on my best. I am not about to explode externally in a hot second. Gotta go. And I kids are walking through the parking lot. I'm like, ah! I peel right through the parking lot to the second parking lot where I pick up Mallory, who's letting her long hair blow in the breeze. Friday was beautiful. Blow in the breeze. And I thought, and she looked at me and I gave her the eye, stop enjoying life. Get in the fucking car. And she's like, I saw her face go from joy to panic. And I slowed down a little and she opened the door and dove in the back seat. Car door is still open and I'm driving away and she's fumbling. She's fumbling to reach for the handle on the door to pull it closed, and momentum of the car moving and the kids I probably hit on my way out of the parking lot. Right. Yeah. Save that one, John. That's I got hilarious. Another one. So it finally closes. And I have to get past all these cars and they're all letting everybody go because it's Friday and they're happy and they don't have Satan trying to pour out of them in 10, 9, 8. Right. So I'm pulling down the driveway. And of course, it's 15 miles an hour there because it's a school. And everybody in front of me for the first time ever has followed that 15 mile an hour.
I would just be crying.
I was crying. And at first I was like, guys, talk to me. And they're talking.
I would have already
and then
shit myself, but go ahead.
First I'm like, guys, talk to each other. Talk to me. And they're talking. They're like, so Mallory, how was your day? And I said, shut up. Like, everybody just shut up. I want you to talk. I want you to, I'm sweating.
Oh
vitamins.
My God, it's the worst.
Jessica, it's vitamins. I took a probiotic, my calcium, the biotin. I took all of this stuff on a completely empty stomach. So stupid. So I get to the light, right? And in front of me is one car and then the red light. And on the opposite way is a massive truck. And the car in front of me is going straight and I'm turning left. Got it? Car in front of me, big truck in front of us. and the light turns. I think just before it turned, I went around the car in front of me into the other lane, turned left in front of the truck. There you go. Turned left in front of the truck, and I floored it. I floored it home. I went up the hill, I turned right, and then there was a car in front of me, a truck that was slowing down to turn into, and I'm like nails into the dashboard.
Home. I would have run into the first school.
First school? I mean,
Ethan's school.
I wouldn't have made it. I would not have made it. I was like, I was doing a dance in my seat. I was praying to a God I don't believe in.
Stand up. Right.
I was. Mm-hmm. This is it. This is it. This is the
Help
only
me, Jewish
thing.
God. Help me, Allah.
Help me, any God. So I get to the driveway. I screech in. I could have killed several animals on the way home. I screech in. I put the car in park. I don't even know if I turned the car off. I dove into the house, and by the skin of my teeth, I made it, right? So, okay.
Thank you,
that
John.
one is unnecessary. That's unnecessary. That is unnecessary. That one, no.
That was a good one.
So I get in, I make it, and the kids are like, can I? I'm like, anything you want, take anything you want. And 2 hours later, I'm laying in bed thinking I'm dying, and Stuart comes upstairs from work, and he says, yo, you really parked like a jackass in the driveway. I'm like, I parked? I was in the driveway? Fuck you. Like, just be grateful I made it to the driveway. Like, are you crazy? We almost had to burn this car down with a dead body in it
two dead bodies.
How about, is everything okay, Melissa? How about, wow, that really looks like something went very wrong outside. But
it's pretty funny that he's like, you parked like a jackass.
Yeah, that's the only thing. And I'm like laying in bed with a cold washcloth over my head. I think I'm dying. And he said, what the fuck, Melissa? I'm like, I'm so sorry. But on the bright side, I didn't shit my knickers and I didn't kill your children on the way home. So yay me.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So dear listener, if you learn nothing else from this podcast, which you probably will not learn anything else.
No, probably not.
Do not eat any sort of vitamins on an empty stomach. That's not what they're meant for.
Nate was here one time and took all his medicine on an empty stomach. It was before he even had a chance to eat. He took one bite of food and then hurled his guts out into the kitchen sink while Isaac watched. And Isaac was like, it's pink.
Yeah.
And Nate was like, sorry, buddy.
That I feel like,
terrible.
even though that feels so terrible, I feel like I could have opened my car door in the parking lot, gacked, and kept going. I don't know. The other end just feels like you can't.
The other end is definitely less flexible.
Less flexible. Right.
That's
John
a
talked
less
about
flexible problem.
Didn't John talk about that principal or
remember,
superintendent
John, when
who
we talked
shit
about
at the
our
high school?
bathroom emergencies?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, no.
Our near misses?
I locked myself out of my house. No, I locked my keys in my car as I got out to go in the house because I was having that exact same cramp you had. And I'm like, now what happens? And I actually had to just go under my deck and poo under my deck before while the tow truck was coming over to get the keys out of my car. I had to go under there like a cat and poo under my deck.
Can anybody see your deck from anywhere?
God, that hurts. It hurts to laugh. Ouch.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then I'm thinking to myself the next day, okay, I don't know if you saw this, and it's not on the board, but there was a lady that was in Canada, and they have a thing. It's called Tim Hortons. It's kind of like a Wawa. And this lady got so mad that she leaned up against the counter, dropped her pants,
and shit on the wall,
pooed on the floor. No, and then picked it up and started throwing it at the employees
like a monkey.
Yes, and I thought to myself, that's how I did it. I leaned up against the wall and made like a little seat, and then I got done.
In our next episode of Classy Canadians, we will be showing you. Yeah, I've been that mad sometimes in stores, but I would never shit. And if I did, I wouldn't touch it. That's no,
right.
Thank you.
What kind of animal? This is how we know that the movie Idiocracy is becoming real life. When people just shit on the floor in a Wawa and throw it at the employee.
I thought to myself, I've really, really been upset at people in a store and stuff like that. Like really mad at the store people. I never once, even the thought never came out, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drop my pants and throw some poo at them. That's never, ever happened.
Never.
It's fucking gross. So I had a horrible, horrible experience. But because of that, I did not go to Delaware to the Cheesecake Factory for dinner because I just...
cheesecake.
I mean, because I just couldn't recover and make it out. And, it takes a couple of days for all those vitamins to work their way through you.
God help you.
But in doing so and sharing the story to our friends on this app, Marco Polo, I want you to know who your friends are, because every one of them shared an I shit my pants story that made me feel so good and so clear in the fact that my people are my people for a reason. I mean,
wish
for
I'd
a
have
reason.
seen that. I should go back.
You should.
I'll go back and watch them.
Because one of them is she shit herself in a car with other people. Another one is like, yeah, they're just, these are my people. These are definitely my people. I love them.
I have a challenge for you now. Back on my podcast, I used to have a thing that was called a Poo Haiku. And what you do is you tell your latest pants shitting or close call story.
That's what we did on our show.
3 short words or 3 short phrases.
In 575, or is that 757?
No,
what is it?
Just 3 short words.
More lenient.
Poo Haiku is just 3 words or 3 short phrases. Like mine was locked out of car, had to go, pooed under the deck. Like yours was.
Mine, I think, was he made me dinner, violently ill afterwards, sped home crying and screaming.
No sex.
No sex, yeah. It was supposed to be our first time. And he bought new plates and everything. He bought special
so romantic, and you just shit it up?
He used Montreal steak seasoning from McCormick, and I got that feeling in his house and was like, I'm so tired, bye, and sped home. I couldn't tell him that I couldn't wreck his bathroom. It was like our 3rd date. It was Scott.
That's how I also know I married the right man. I just can't gross him out.
Because
I've tried.
I told him what happened after I was violently ill, and he called me. He was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "The steak made me sick," but I couldn't say anything. And he was like, "You can go to the bathroom here. What are you, crazy?" And I was like,
Not
"No,
like
I
that.
can't."
Not like that, my friend. Not like that. We have 8 toilets in this house, Jess. 8 toilets. And if I could, I would always find the one farthest from human, auditory, anything.
Yeah.
Just get away.
You
Get away
should
from
just bar one, like with police line, do not cross, and then just use that one as yours forever.
Forever. Well, yes. Mine. I have my own bathroom. Thank God.
You have 8 toilets? Hold on. How many toilets do I have? 1, 2, 3. 3.
Well, mine was in case I cooked for people, everybody had their own toilet.
Oh, that's smart.
Isn't it?
That's very smart.
Yeah, it's very weird. In our master suite, there are 2 toilets. There's one shower, and we each have our own sink and our own toilet in our master suite.
That's interesting.
Sweet. Yeah. And the kids each have one. There's a guest bedroom that has its own. There are 2 powder rooms downstairs and a toilet in the finished basement.
How did I never notice?
So the 2 toilets in the bathroom, how close are they to each other? Is there a wall between them?
There are several walls between them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But his is closer to where I sleep, which is not good. We probably should have switched. Yeah, probably. It is handy. It's part of what we liked. We liked the fact that I don't ever have to share a toilet with anyone ever again, unless I'm screeching into the driveway, and the powder room when you walk in the house is the first one.
It's literally right there. Yeah,
I could violate. Yes, that is exactly what.
And
happened.
Luckily, full of magazines.
Yeah, there's
Who
literature.
uses magazines anymore?
Because you have a phone.
Yes. Another reason why I use a smartphone.
Well, what I'm saying, one time I went to Melissa's and I came out and I was like, I'm so glad you have magazines. You can't trust a person with no magazines in a bathroom.
We have lots of literature.
This is, I don't know if it was before, it wasn't before iPhones, but it was a long time ago.
Oh, well, before iPhones, that's a different story. Everybody had magazines in their bathroom before iPhones.
I still have the same magazines I had in mine from before. They're like from 2003. I'm just kidding.
So if I ever want to catch up on 2003, I know where to tinkle.
No, I'm just kidding. I did subscribe to a bunch of magazines recently, and now I'm so sorry that I did because I don't read them.
They'll pile up.
I have no time to read them. It's a total pile up. Why did I do that?
Yeah, if you could do what I did, where I got all these like Atlantic Monthlies. I love that magazine. I really do. And I'll scroll through it and I'll just rip out the articles I want to read. I staple them together and I take it on a plane. So that way it's when traveling,
That's
at least I
idea.
have something. I don't have to go through all the ads and all the bullshit. I just pull out what I actually care about. I staple it and I go.
The one I like is Entertainment Weekly, and it's weekly.
Well,
so if I don't read it that week, I'm just going to get a new one next week. So.
That's really a classy one. That's really high line, classy magazine that you
What's
chose.
wrong with Entertainment Weekly? It's very entertainment focused.
Everything you would hear. Everything you would hear. Well, at least People has articles. Everything you would hear, you'd also hear
has articles
on the internet. You get everything that you get in that magazine on the internet.
No, you don't. They have interviews and behind the scenes shit and all kinds of stuff for Entertainment Weekly. How dare you, madam? It's a good magazine.
How dare you? Jessica.
Tim Stack writes most of it. What?
Oh, I like him. I like him a lot.
Yeah,
I want to ask you, on your phone, John, you can answer this too. On your phone, how many emails does it say you have on your phone?
55.
Would it shock you if I showed you my phone right now and it said over 10,000, 11,000 emails?
It's ridiculous.
It would make me not shock me, but it would make me upset to see that every day. Yes.
Hold on.
Why would you have 10,930
Can't see
emails?
It. Oh,
well,
my
first
God.
of all, it's AOL.
No, what upsets me about that is AOL.
That's AOL.
I was just trying to give Jessica the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, you should just go in there and delete every one of them.
If it's an app that says AOL, one email would upset me because it's AOL.
Right.
I have 11,000 emails, and I deleted like 1,000 while, reading in bed.
Just delete them all. Don't delete them all. Just mark them all as red. That's all. And then it'll go away.
It'll go there. The thing will go away.
I've been unsubscribing. That's my new thing.
But
I go through
work.
and I unsubscribe. And I hope that they stop sending me. But it really doesn't work.
They still send them. They say you should unsubscribe, but they don't. Yeah, I hate that. You know what? And after I do that, I get so mad, I turn them in. Like I mark them as spam.
Yeah, I report spam.
Yeah, I do too. That'll learn them.
Mm-hmm.
But even if like some of them are shopping, like let's say it's Kmart. Well, I don't shop at Kmart, so I unsubscribe. And then a month later, I'm still getting Kmart. I get it might take you a week or two to get through all of the people who don't want to be subscribed to you, but it shouldn't take you a month. And now I'm mad. So
yeah, that's annoying.
It is kind of my spam account. It's the email address I give people that I don't want to talk to or I don't want to.
Smart.
It's the one I have.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. No, I'm telling you, it's not. It's a different one. I promise. I promise. And I'm not going to give the other one on air right now, but I promise you that's not it. My kids do it too. They've now decided that that's the email address they could give when they don't want to give their personal email address. So now I'm getting their shit too.
So like if you're an older person and you don't have, I have a little hack for this. Okay. So what I have is like in Gmail, you can make this, it's like a rule, like a Facebook rule. You go in there and what happens is after I unsubscribe and I see it again, I tag it with a tag that says delete. And then what I do is I put that on that email address. So when it comes in, it immediately gets deleted and it works like a charm. So that has stopped, my inbox from getting totally crowded. Because once I unsubscribe and you still send it, then I make a rule and I add that tag delete to it. And then it just goes in, and as soon as it comes in, it goes whoop and gets deleted. And that'll be the end of that. So
I like that idea. Mm-hmm. I like that it doesn't even come to me anymore because
nope.
I said no. You said yes. I said no.
That's right.
So it's gone. All right. Fair enough. I'll try that.
Hashtag email too.
Right. Email hack. All right. So 11,000 is not reasonable.
No.
Agreed?
No.
Okay.
Correct.
Fair enough.
I have 1,100 newsletters and I have currently 1,100 notifications from my little course that someone signed up for the courses, but it wasn't like in the last, it's like all of them. I have them in a separate folder that I don't look at. So I have 52 emails that I supposedly need to look at, 198 things in spam, 21 bulks, 27 I'll deal with you laters, and 1,105 newsletters that I'll never read.
Wait, do you really have a folder that says I'll deal with you later?
It's called Sane. It's Sane Box I use. And yeah, it's called Sane Later, which means I'll deal with you later.
I like it.
It just automatically goes in there. You sign up for Sane Box and it automatically filters your stuff. You can go in and train it a little bit, but it's pretty smart already, which is cool.
And that's not even counting my spam box from that spam account. So I had probably another couple thousand in there, which I just immediately delete. Right. Immediately. I don't even bother.
I got subscribed to this new thing and I can't unsubscribe from it because I love it so much, but it sends me like 20 emails a day. It's called Next Vacay. And basically they send you these amazing deals. So for example, they found a nonstop flight from Newark, New Jersey to Edinburgh, Scotland for $450.
And when do you leave? That sounds amazing. I'll go with you.
Mid-September to early December. But and then it usually says you have to get this within 24 to 48 hours because otherwise it'll disappear. And of course, I'm not ready to just commit to Scotland in 24 hours. So, but I mean, there's so many of them and I love them. I'm having the best time. Here's one, New York City to Amsterdam for $375.
Yes, please.
Yeah. See, it's fun to read all the places I'll never go.
This summer, I'm going to London and you are welcome to join.
What? How?
Annie, Tom, Stuart, Melissa are going to London for 10 days.
But didn't we discuss this was already during Podcast Movement, which is why you can't come to Podcast Movement?
All are welcome. All are welcome.
I can't. I have a booth at this thing. Isn't it like the last week of July?
Yep. It's I think the 20th
yeah,
and 30th.
I can't. Yeah. That's exactly during Podcast Movement. That's why you're going to miss it.
I miss everything and I ruin everything. So it's okay that I missed
this about you
because I would have ruined it anyway.
I know.
You're welcome.
We already know this. We already know this about you. I have a confession about something that happened to me in New York, and I need to tell you about it.
I love confessions.
You have to swear to me that you'll never tell my husband, no matter what happens or who tortures you.
Are we doing this on the show, or does this have to be edited out?
No, we're doing it on the show.
Edited out. We're doing it on the show. So
let's do it.
I went back to the first day I was there, I hadn't eaten. I had just gotten in. I took a walk to Junior's.
Don't take vitamins. I love Junior's. Matzo ball soup.
Me too.
Oh.
And I got matzo ball soup.
I saw pictures.
In a bag and a piece of cheesecake. I brought it home. Well, that was actually Katz's Deli. I brought it back to my hotel room. I set my computer up. I had it out on the bed the way it is now, just open like a clamshell because I had no cable in my room because no hotel room in New York is perfect. I put the computer down and I'm watching, I don't remember what. And then I put the bag of soup. I took the soup out, put it on the night table, and then I put the bag down on the bed and the bag topples over, but I figure what's in there? Napkins? No big deal. No. Some dickhead put butter pads in the bag with my soup, which then melted.
Because of the soup.
So then I got melted butter on the keyboard of my computer. And it's like...
You need a dog.
The zero... I was in a hotel room.
You need to go find a dog to lick that up.
I need an Apple repairman. He's gonna fucking kill me. Because, the M isn't working. The zero's a little fucked.
You need a dog to lick that up.
And, I can't tell him because, the other day I was, trying to get into my computer and, 2014 is part of my password to get into the computer. And I'm, slamming on the zero. Why won't this go? And he's like, did you spill anything on it while you were in New York? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
By the way, from the beginning of that story, matzo ball soup and a piece of cheesecake is the perfect meal. Let's start there.
It is. They have a chocolate mousse cheesecake that was so good. I almost wanted to cry and eat the whole thing, but I did not eat the whole thing.
But then you have to go back and get more to bring home. That's what you have to do. That's the perfect meal.
You should see these cheesecakes. I mean, if this is, let's just say this is the width of the cheesecake. This much of it was chocolate mousse and this much of it was cheesecake. It was incredible. It was so good.
Can they ship them?
There are a lot of hand gestures there. Yes, of course, Junior ships. Yeah, go look online. Of course they do. Junior's has outrageous cheesecakes. Outrageous. But I love their matzo ball soup too.
What's a Junior's Deli?
Junior's, juniorscheesecake.com. But yes, it's a deli. Oh, mama. Order online. Oh, here we go, John. All right, cheesecake samplers, so fancy. I don't know if it's traditional or fancy.
So that is on the list of things I just don't eat anymore.
When you see this, though, you're going to cry.
He's looking.
It's, here, cheesecake is like my
It's under fancy. It's under fancy. I repeat. It is under fancy. Fancy. Oh, but this is not what my cheesecake looked like. Oh my God. Switch the chocolate mousse to cheesecake ratio. Hold on. I'm going to put it in chat.
Listen
Where do you
carefully.
See this motherfucker?
Listen to me. I cannot eat those things. I cannot eat. I'm 5 weeks into not eating sugar, and all you're doing.
So what happened? So what are you? Are you down anything? Do you feel better? What's going on?
I mean, have I lost weight? Yes, I lost 7 pounds.
Okay.
Good.
And I don't have 20 pounds to lose. I just wanted to lose that. Oh, wow. Look at that cheesecake. Damn, girl. Or were those chocolate chips on the outside too?
Yes.
See, that's something you want to start talking about because that's texture. Cheesecake texture is one thing, but to add those like a flying saucer that you roll in chocolate chips all the way around, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but imagine if the chocolate mousse were the size of the cheesecake and vice versa. Like that's how mine was.
Oh.
It was mostly mousse.
You can have that shipped to your house?
Yeah, of course, John. You can have everything shipped to your house. As a man who's been a shut-in for previous years, you know that.
Oh, look at that.
Incredible. It was incredible. It was so good. I definitely picked the right cheesecake.
I would call that better than sex cheesecake.
So, wait,
yeah, my
John,
mom used to make better than sex cake. And
John,
I was, at the time, I was so offended that she would even name something, anything to do with sex. She was my mother. But now that I'm 45, I think she might have been right. Just kidding. That's not nice to say about my husband. It's probably not better than sex, but close.
But John, you can't eat that, right? You can't have that.
Listen, every once in a while you can have a little bit. You know, you can take something like that.
John, they're not going to send you a little bit in the mail. They're going to send you a 13 to 27 pound cheesecake.
Keep it in the freezer.
What's your point? Like you can give some of that away.
What's your point? I think you know my point.
The point is, now we know what to get John for his birthday.
Perfect.
Oh, my God. Yeah, see, the chocolate chip thing, I'm not a big fan of the chocolate chips around the outside.
God.
I ate around that.
I would figure
That's the only part I want to throw my face into right now.
There is at the Super G across the street something called a chocolate bomb, which is chocolate cake, chocolate mousse, and then it's wrapped in ganache.
Yeah,
I have a ganache problem. It's so good.
Oh,
We're now doing chocolate porn.
I have a ganache problem.
Porn on the.
Hi,
I do.
My name is Jessica, and I am a ganacheaholic.
I have a ganache problem. Ganacheaholic. That's right. I don't even remember what we were talking about before the cheesecake. That's how.
Scary flying shark.
What were we talking about before the cheesecake? Shit.
All right.
No one knows.
It went from
no
poop.
one can remember.
It went from poop to emails to your computer needed help. That's right. Your computer needed help.
Butter on your computer.
Butter.
That's what it was.
It's your confession.
Too many emails.
That you jacked your computer.
When are you going to get a new computer? Because you've basically ruined that one. You know that, right? I
need to make enough money to replace it. If that's true, did I? Can't you just replace first of all, my old computer lasted me 11 years. I had the keyboard replaced. I had the motherboard replaced. I added more. I mean, like a Mac will last you.
So what are you up to on this one? How old is this computer?
Let's look.
You spilled water in it, or you spilled soda in it when we were recording a couple years ago.
It was soda.
And you were shaking it, and it was having problems then. And I can't believe it's lasted this long, to be quite honest with you.
MacBook Pro, Retina, 15-inch, mid-2015. It's not that old.
It's not that old.
I totally will not need a new computer for a while. I just need to what I really need is more storage and now probably a keyboard replacement.
Does it have a list of ingredients like butter, soda, when you click the black apple? Water.
It should.
Calorie content.
How am I going to tell my husband that?
You're not. You're going to go to the Geek Bar. What is it, John? She's going to make an appointment to show up
at the
Genius Bar,
not the Geek Bar.
You're going to go to the Genius Bar and you're going to make an appointment online, and you'll show up and they'll take it, and you'll say, I am now going to go shopping at these 3 stores in this mall, and I need you to have this ready or I can't go home. My husband won't let me in the house. He can't know about this. Fix it, please. And they're so good. They're so good there. Stuart had a deaf consultant the last time he went, and he texted me, she's deaf. She's helping me and she's deaf. And I'm like, that's great. use all of the sign language that you've learned while living with me or being married to me for the last 18 years. And he said,
right.
I don't know any. I'm like, yeah, you're so supportive. That's great. Too bad.
Well, you knew he didn't know any.
He doesn't know any sign language.
Why would he?
Because he lives with me, and when my mouth is full or a room is loud or whatever, I sign all the time. I can't stop.
He's just guessing based on what he knows of you.
Yes, he's a very educated guesser. I hope he doesn't do that as a doctor.
I hope so, too.
Just looking at you, I'm going to guess that you have something...
chlamydia!
Stuck in an orifice. No, that's
Hooray,
not good.
chlamydia. Have you guys seen the Katy Perry? How awkward is she lately? Did you see the exchange between her and Ryan Seacrest?
I saw the exchange between her and the new Bachelorette on American Idol.
And between her and the new, they're both very, very, very awkward. I mean, we already know Hollywood is rife with inappropriate behavior.
No, but she's an attention seeker, and I have no problem with it.
She's an attention whore in the worst way. I've never seen such whoring for attention.
I have no problem with it.
With Katy Perry?
Yeah, she admits it. She's fun to watch. She's entertaining. She's got that Jenny McCarthy plus on her. Like, Jenny McCarthy will talk about anything. Katy Perry will physically do anything. And I think it's because Jenny McCarthy now has a kid, and Katy Perry doesn't. So she could still physically do anything, and she's not bringing shame upon the House of Perry. I mean, I don't think that
her parents are very, very religious from what I've read, but you're probably right.
Didn't she start in religious music? Didn't she start singing about Christian-y things, and then she evolved to kissing a girl and liking it, and that was scandalous.
Yes, it was scandalous.
So this is a big move for her. This is just letting her freak flag fly, and she is a total freak. So that flag is flying.
I mean,
what did she do with Seacrest? What did she do with Seacrest?
There was a moment where they were back and Seacrest didn't know they were back.
Oh, yeah.
And so, And so he was like, your mom is pretty. And she was like, my mom? And he was like, and he's like banging the cards on the table, like trying to hit on her a little bit. And he was like, you are too, but you're not a mom. And she was like, no, I'm not a mom. Not yet. And he goes, yeah, not yet. Want to talk about it? And she goes, are we back? And he looks at the camera and you see him realize that they're back. And he goes, yeah, I think we're live. And she goes, are we being professionals right now? And he was like, this is it.
Sounds like he's the one who had
totally covered. He totally, he did. But it wasn't because that time it was him that was awkward. The other time it was her being awkward to the Bachelorette. Totally. She started kissing on her hand. It was
Then
really
she discovered
weird.
She had a Christian chapter and verse written on her arm, and she was brought back to.
Right, she's got scripture.
Oh, all this, and I'm like, yo, I don't think you should be shouting scripture when you are wearing things with your body parts hanging out, which I think are fabulous, by the way, and B, being wildly inappropriate, attention grabbing, seeking anything from anyone. But I still think she's fabulous. I still think she's so great. She's honest, weird as fuck, but honest.
Yeah.
Do you think that's an act?
That she's weird as fuck? No.
Her behavior.
I think this is how she is. I think that I think she's doing what she's doing, and I think poor Lionel Richie is constantly apologizing for her because he doesn't even know what to do because he's a fucking Commodore.
Well,
and this entire experience has debased him in ways he never thought possible.
I love Lionel Richie like he is my own father.
Me too. Same.
I loved the Commodores, and I think he did a lot of apologizing for those two crackheads throughout the course of that series. But I usually stop watching American Idol like just over half the way in when the person that I know should win doesn't win. And this year I watched to the finale because the person I picked won. So I was super happy with all that. And for the first time in 13 years of watching it, Ani-Offie, I voted. And I thought the girl who won was just amazing. I didn't think she'd win because America doesn't want that nonsense. I do. I don't think I'm well represented in America.
Now you're talking about the show, which I don't watch.
Oh, you just watch for the judgy things that...
I've only watched the stuff that becomes newsworthy. I haven't actually watched the show in years.
So it wasn't in Entertainment Weekly, so we're done?
Right.
I'm not saying that.
So it's not
saying I haven't watched the show in a long time.
Good toilet reading, so we're done?
I could see Lionel Richie
I'm not on the toilet that much is the problem.
Oh, okay.
Could you see Lionel Richie redoing one of his songs? Hello, will you stop being a fucking whore?
Here's the thing, Melissa. When it first came out, I was roughly the same age as the contestants, and much like a high school teacher, I've gotten older, but they've stayed the same age.
Yeah.
And it's not fun for me to watch people younger than my kids get into a business that is both sleazy and sellouty and hoary and scary. Like, it was fun when I thought I could do it.
And in the worst way. They're not doing it by paying their dues. They're doing it by entering a contest. They're not doing it by the way that tried and true and experience.
They have to have a combination of hotness and sob story that I'm not quite comfortable with. So I haven't watched it in years. I guess now that I'm thinking about it, that's why. But it's not for...
I liked it because...
Yeah, people like it. I mean, what's his name? Howard Stern watches it all the time.
Yeah, I have to like... Well, you said sob story. I have to like a couple of the contestants to even give a shit. And like I said, I stop watching it when I know that guy totally should have won or that girl totally should have won. And this year it was that Maddie girl who picked all the right songs, had a great sound. She was so great, but she's like singer-songwriter.
Why didn't she win?
She did win this year. She did.
Oh, she did.
She was amazing. And it turns out...
I love singer-songwriter. Yeah,
well, that's what she would sing. She sang Landslide on the last show. She did a Simon & Garfunkel song.
Oh, I love that song.
She started her audition with, like, the Rainbow Connection. And I thought...
Oh, I can play that on the piano.
Can you really?
Let's make everything you say about me. No, I'm just kidding.
Can you really?
Looks like we are.
Yeah, I can. I can.
Okay, Katy Perry.
Yep. Complete with blue hair.
No wonder we like her so much.
So you know that this month they had Sirius Radio. You could now listen without a subscription.
What do you mean for the month?
For the month of May.
Oh, it's like a free promo?
It was a free, yes, you could listen. So I downloaded the app on my phone and I listened to Howard Stern. And, you know, I know you guys still listen because you have Sirius radios in your car.
I do.
But I listened to him and I was so disappointed and so horrified on how horrible the show got that I deleted the app halfway through the month and never listened to the rest of the show because
wait a minute.
He's horrible. That's
what.
First of all,
you hear?
Deleting it is a very bad call. You miss out on Yacht Rock. You miss out on the Covers channel and Road Trip Radio. So that was dumb. Let's start there.
90s songs and everything. Yeah, there's a lot more than Howard. What about Laugh USA and Kevin Hart Station and Comedy Greats?
Well, I only wanted to listen to Howard. And to be honest with you, the whole time that I listened to, when I had Sirius Radio for the years that I had it, the only thing that was on was Howard's station because he would play the show 24 hours. And it was just the way the show is now, it's just, to me, unlistenable. And it's a sin.
I can't imagine what you could have heard, but there have not been... My favorite stuff is that happened in the last week. Like, they did an induction to a new Whack Pack member, and I actually hate the Whack Pack. Probably what you hear is a lot of Ronnie, the limo driver, because he's on a lot more than he used to be, and he's a little bit unlistenable as well. But it's funny when he gets in arguments with other people. That's why I like Ronnie, because he's always yelling at somebody.
I still love the show. I don't know what you heard. What did you hear that you didn't like?
I want to know what he heard. Yeah,
there was the Ronnie thing, and then there was part of the Whack Pack thing that I'd listened to that they were doing.
Yeah, see, I knew it. I knew that's what you would hate.
And the thing is that I listened to it when he first went to Sirius, and it was like he was shot out of a cannon. He was doing all this crazy stuff, and it was so funny and so, innovative. And it was, and now it's like you're listening to your old uncles tell jokes that you've heard so long ago, and it's nothing there. See, what happens was you guys have been listening the whole time, so you've not noticed the degradation of the show. Where I stopped listening when he went to America's Got Talent, and I just listened again, and I was like, oh. Did you hear any of his
interviews? Did you hear his interview of Snoop? Did you hear
his interviews
or Gwyneth?
His interviews.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, his interview. He's the best interviewer I've ever heard. So yes,
by far,
that stuff is good. But then that's few and far in between to what you're listening to the show for.
But he also does what Jessica just did. Let's have Gwyneth say anything and then make it about me. I'm like, Howard, shut up. Make it about her. There are times in his interviews where I'm like, not about you. Let's keep moving on. Like, next question.
Yeah.
He does it to have the reason he's doing that is not for the audience. It's so that the guest feels more comfortable, so they'll reveal more.
Yeah, I get that. And then the other thing is,
and he's a flaming narcissist. Other than that,
you think so?
Oh, are you kidding? Who else spends 4 days a week in therapy and still isn't better for 11 years? Like, he's a flaming narcissist.
Abused children often become narcissists. So that's true.
Is he abused because he, by the age of 21, still had his mother taking his temperature rectally? Is that part of the abuse?
Maybe.
I think it was the dad.
What?
No, they were mean.
Shut up, sit down. Shut up, sit down.
Shut up.
Yeah, that. Yeah, exactly.
You moron.
I told you not to be stupid, you moron. But
which is also my favorite on the Goldbergs, where he calls, which one of my morons said that? I love that you're calling your kids morons, because until they're 25 and make a decent...
But those kids know they're loved. I don't think Howard had any idea. Do you ever hear him tell the story about how his dad took him to a baseball game?
Yeah.
He had the little scorecard that he kept. Yeah, and he was like, all he did was eat. He ate the hot dog and the popcorn. He doesn't know anything about the game. Well, because you're supposed to teach him about the game, dummy.
Takes a little while to get into it. But I just thought that, I was like so excited because I hadn't heard him in such a long time. And I was listening and I'm like, what is going on here? This isn't the Howard that I know. And I don't know.
Interesting.
He should retire. It's well, you know what?
He's got 2 years to go and he's done.
Good. I think he probably should have left 3 years prior. I think
we're still listeners. We're still listeners. We still pay for it. We still love
really
it. We like it a lot.
The thing that they replay the most besides the Ronnie shit is the interviews, and I still really like the interviews.
And you can get those on the app, too. You can listen to them anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I might put it back on again. I don't know. But I just thought to myself that I saw the big drop-off because when I stopped listening, it still was, I thought, a good show. And then when I listened this past month, maybe.
Try again.
We'll see. I mean, he's only on 3 days a week. That was the other thing that annoyed me. And it
I accept. I accept your annoyance of him only being down to Monday through Wednesday. I
get it.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I haven't even noticed. That's how little I'm in the car.
I listen to it at home too. I listen to it at home too. I don't listen just in the car.
I never do. I can't think when other people are talking. I can't think about what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hijack the show. I apologize.
That's it. We're out of topics.
No, we're not. What's your Markle topic?
I just wanted to know what you guys thought about the wedding.
Oh, that
wedding?
That wedding.
Yeah, I really don't care. I mean, about we talked about this last time. I really don't have any interest in the
Royals.
British anything. The Royals are not. I think they are both beautiful and they will make beautiful babies. And I think at one point Ethan said, who will then be king someday? And I said, oh no, they will not be king someday. They are so far in the line of succession that it's not even.
Harry at this point is 12th, I think. No, he's 5th. His kids will be like, no, wait a minute. It goes Charles is 1, and then William is 2, and then
all of his kids,
all 3 of his children, so 3, 4, 5.
I'm just telling you right now that none of them are going to make it because she's going to outlive all of them.
And then Harry, he's 6th. He's 6th in line. So his kids will then be 7th and 8th. But right now,
unless what's her name shits out another kid or two, and then that pushes him further back.
Who, Kate? I think Kate's done. There's been a lot of pictures of her gritting her teeth and yelling at her children.
Oh, I love that picture. I love that picture. Oh, that was that in
There's
your magazine?
There's a couple of them though, but they're fantastic.
Yeah, I saw it online.
I actually do read the fucking news. Stop it.
You cannot tell me you read the news and then tell me a story about the Royals. That's not the news. You want to talk about the news? I thought we were avoiding the news because it was not what this podcast is about.
It's Facebook news. It's BuzzFeed news. That's where I read the news. BuzzFeed.
Facebook news. I got it. Facebook news. Yeah, I think she's. So I used to watch this show called The Good Witch. So stupid, but it's like on the Hallmark Channel. And when I wake up in the morning and I go to turn on the news after I've dropped the kids off and done my 8-minute workout, it's on the Hallmark Channel. And have you watched Hallmark movies of the week or of the season have you ever watched any of those?
Yes. The Christmas ones are the ones I love.
I can't help but really like them. I don't ever want to turn them on.
They are annoyingly lovable, and I can't stop myself. My sister-in-law watches them all year round.
Same formula.
The fall ones. She does the summer ones.
It's the same formula, right? It's every single time. It's just a new, clean face in that role. And when I turned it on, Meghan Markle was in this 2016 Hallmark thing where she and this guy, she has to pick between, she always picks the wrong guy. So she read this stupid book that was giving her pointers on how to pick better men. And she decided that she would not go with what she thought was hot and exciting. She would try to find a man with her head, and she's going between these two guys. And I thought, you're going to marry a prince. Like, you have no idea what's happening right now, but you're going to marry these two losers that you're deciding between. Crumple them up and throw them in the trash can because you got a prince. So I was so excited for her. Fun. Yeah, she was so young, or it was 2 years ago that it came out. So what she filmed it 3 years ago, but yeah,
they might have already been dating.
I was like, wait a minute, I know that face. Oh, maybe because I watched her on Suits. And I liked that show a lot.
You did?
And now they're going to have to, yeah, I still do. They're going to have to write her out somehow because she's not leaving a palace to go. Yeah, I saw they're not allowed to wear nail polish of any color.
That's the queen's preference. I'm sure when Charles is king, she can do whatever she wants. The queen does not like bright colored nail polish. The queen does not allow them to have selfies or social media of any kind. And you're not allowed to do autographs because they don't want any royals to have duped signatures anywhere.
Oh.
Which is probably smart.
How would you write out Meghan Markle from the show? I would have her die in a plane crash.
What choices do you have? I don't know the show.
Wait, do you watch the show?
No, but I would just have her die.
Okay.
Like I would have her have this horrific death.
So in the season finale, she just got married to one of the leads, but I think they decided that they were going to move to this is a New York based show, that they were going to move to like Portland and open up something there. So I think they're going to write them both out having left town. Yeah,
she would die on her way to Portland if I was writing.
Oh, and then her husband could come back and stay a lead in the show.
Yes.
And date. Woohoo!
There you go.
P.S. Remember when Dule Hill was in a play around here, around my house, and we went and I was starstruck for 20 minutes meeting him?
20 minutes.
All right, for 4 weeks, but in person for 20 minutes, I met Dule Hill, who I absolutely love. He's in that show Suits with now a princess. So I wish I had known better to ask him even more questions other than, you're so handsome, big fan. I love how articulate I get in situations like that because I'm the best.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just spent $70 for a cheesecake.
You ordered it?
Yes.
What time?
Which one?
Yours.
The chocolate mouse cheesecake was $46.95 and $24 for shipping.
Well, because they're going to ship it with dry ice, so it gets to you. Yeah.
It will be the most amazing thing you've ever had.
Does it have the chocolate chips on the outside? Is that one of the ones with the chocolate chips?
The one with the chocolate chips. Yeah.
I'll be right there. Tell me when it's supposed to arrive. I'll be there.
I will cut you half. Yes, I will cut this thing in half and give you half of it.
I don't want half. I just want the outside rim.
Your family can have some of it too.
Family schmamly. They are eating all of my Drake's and Tasty Cakes and Hostess cakes in front of me like it's water, like it's nothing. They are horrible, horrible people.
Could you see they open up the pack of crimpets and they're just like, "Hey, Mom."
The donuts, I bought them a 6-pack of donuts, and they have it all over their faces. They're like, "Mama, can I have a kiss?" I'm like, "A kiss? Go wash your face, or I will lick your face."
You are torturing yourself. You bring all that in the house. If I was on a diet, there would be none of that in the house.
I just don't think they should have to suffer because I'm batshit crazy. Like my mother was batshit crazy many a times, and we all suffered for it. There's no reason for them to. They should have joy in their lives. I went out to breakfast when Stuart's parents were here. Stuart got a lump of tuna, brunch, a lump of tuna on a blade of grass. It looked like his mother got 2 eggs that were staring at her with the driest of one piece of dry toast. I had some stupid whatever I can eat. And I look across from me and there's his father, the only one with joy in his life, who got this thick challah French toast and he was smothering it in butter and syrup and he was just diving in. And drool is running down the side of my face. And I'm looking around at our 4 plates thinking, you are the only human at this table who has joy in his life right now. Because food is joy.
The other thing I'm doing right now is I'm writing out my will because I plan on being in a sugar coma in 2 days.
Oh, is that when it gets there? Because Jess and I will be there in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't count us out.
So
when you get it, you should slice the whole thing and, like Jess said, freeze it. You should slice the whole thing and freeze it because that way you can pull out a slice at a time and not have to thaw the whole thing.
It's like I'm paying $70 for a slice of cheesecake. That's how much. See, this is what you do when you're on a diet and you deprive yourself.
It's instant gratification, though. It's not instant right now.
Right. I was just sitting there and you were talking. And I'm like, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do this. Wait a minute. Why is my credit card out?
Where did that come from? Hey, wait. Well, Jess, I said Stuart took the kids to that dinner and drove home and passed Brewster's on the way home from Christiana.
Oh, I love Brewster's.
Right by you, Brewster's, right? That's not far from you. Mm-hmm. They have a completely sugar-free coffee ice cream.
I love coffee ice cream.
That was amazing. Mm-hmm. I tried to split it for 2 nights, so I didn't eat it all at once. You don't like it? It was the best ever. Oh, he doesn't like coffee.
Ice cream.
But, I love it.
Oh, you don't like coffee ice? Oh, it did not taste sugar-free, and that's everything, as long as it doesn't taste like ass. But it was so good that I'm actually thinking of driving down there to get more and making, like, quarts out of it. Will they do that? Will they pack me a...
Yeah,
but then that's all I'm going to eat, cashews and quarts of coffee, sugar-free ice cream. And then I'll be in the shitter again, because whatever they use to sweeten it can't be good. Good Lord, what am I going to do?
But do you feel? See, here's the thing. I have to tell you.
No,
this.
I don't feel better. I don't feel better.
Well, so for me, I feel better since I've been on this intermittent fasting thing. I feel better. I feel not as depressed. I feel more. I feel not as achy and as in pain and stuff like that. And I'm not hungry, and I really don't have any cravings until Jessica told me about this. The one thing I have been craving is cheesecake, and when she said chocolate mouse cheesecake, that to me is like an Asian hooker. I mean, I just can't turn it down. So
when does the Asian hooker arrive?
2 days.
How many days till the Asian hooker arrives?
Right.
2 days.
Yeah.
No, that's the cheesecake.
Mm-hmm. I know.
It'll be worth it because you've deprived yourself. Just don't eat all the cheesecakes.
Here's the problem. I have another podcast where it's a diet podcast. It's called Hate to Wait, and we go in there, and now I'm going to have to go on there and talk about how I bought a $70 cheesecake because I was listening to a podcast, and then I ate a piece of it and had to give the rest of it away.
You have to move before it arrives.
You're not giving all of it away. You're going to keep a couple slices for an emergency.
I'm having one slice, and then I'm giving the rest of it away. But
if you don't give the rest of that shit to me and Melissa, I'll never forgive you.
I'll give it. I'll cut parts of it.
I will pay you for the rest of it. I'll give you money for the rest of it. I don't even care.
Oh, okay.
You have to pack up and move.
Oh, you want the rest of it?
Yes, of course we want the rest of it.
Yes.
All right, well then fine.
She and I will fucking fist fight for it, I bet.
I'm weak. I can't. There's nothing I could do. You win.
I'm not weak. I just,
Although I could grab it. I can outrun you. I could grab it and outrun you.
The funny thing is now that I'm 57 years old that the chocolate mouse chocolate mousse mouse, the chocolate mouse cake, the chocolate mousse cake actually is more desirable to me than the Asian hooker. So I'm at that age of my life where it's all over. Asian
hooker just seems like a lot of work. That's the other thing is like, in retrospect, thinking about like having a crush on someone or dating again, like what a bunch of work to try and retrain someone to deal with you the way you need to be dealt with. Like if you, God forbid, anything happened to this marriage and one of us had to go out dating, like we would both be so fucked because forget just the physical part, but like we have now mastered the art of, we almost never argue. In fact, I told someone this over the weekend or when I was in New York that I never have arguments with Scott. And they were like, they just stared at me in like complete disbelief. And I was like, what is there to argue about? The man doesn't leave the house. And even if he did, the last things first of all, the things most people argue about are housework. We have that covered. Sex. We have that covered. Money. We have that covered, and raising kids. And Isaac is not old enough for us to argue about that yet. So the thing we argued about the most in those four is raising the children. And we just spent 3 years pissing and moaning about what to do about Emily. Now that Emily's gone, we have nothing to fight about. I mean, there's nothing to fight about when it comes to Nate. There's nothing to fight about right now when it comes to Isaac. So what's left? What is it? Mostly the only thing the sad part is because he never leaves the house, the thing we talk about the most often is what to eat for dinner.
Oh, I hate that conversation. What's for dinner? And
it's the one I hate the most, but
the worst.
Since he doesn't go out, we don't have a lot to discuss.
We're going to have a big lunch today. We're going to that Italian restaurant by us that has an amazing buffet. So we're going to have a big lunch. And normally I would say cereal and ice cream for dinner, but I can't eat cereal or ice cream. So unless I do drive down to Brewster's.
Melissa, who was that person I was talking about that did this stand-up that was really, really good?
Ali Wong.
Ali Wong.
Oh my God, I have seen most of that special, the new one. She's so funny.
She's hysterical.
She's hysterical.
I want to ask you, do you say yes if you subscribe to these? Do you have Netflix?
Yes.
Yes.
Hulu?
Yes.
No.
You don't have Hulu? That surprises me. Streaming?
Well, I did, but I never watched it, so I got rid of it.
Amazon Prime?
Yes.
Yes.
YouTube Red?
Yes.
Yes.
You have YouTube Red. Okay. Have you seen
Cobra Kai?
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on Cobra Kai?
I bought a Cobra Kai t-shirt.
It was amazing.
And now I own a Cobra Kai t-shirt. It was amazing. I love it.
I watched the whole 10 episodes in one sitting. I couldn't stop watching it.
We couldn't stop watching it either. I watched 5 hours one night, 5 hours the next night.
I sat down and watched it. 5 hours and 5 hours. There's only 10 episodes.
Obsessed.
And they're only 30 minutes.
Two nights, I said.
No, it was 30 minutes. It was 2.5, 10 times.
Yeah, so she watched half and half.
You're right.
Yeah, it was 5 hours.
I watched half and half. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. I think I totally could have written that better, and I hate feeling that way about a show, but there were some lines in there. It was very, 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 very stupid until the very end.
Yes, it was stupid.
Oh my God, John, it was so stupid, but kitschy stupid and whatever. But
yeah, Daniel LaRusso was the stupidest part of that whole
He is the worst. He is so annoying. He's a walking...
I thought he was the worst back then.
He's a wiener. He's the worst.
He's a wiener.
But back then, he was a wiener and he won, and that made that even worse. But in this one... there were lines, though. So one of the kids says...
I can't even talk to you two right now, but go ahead.
I'm going on... No, we loved it, but it was terrible.
What? No, it was confusing, though, John, because I was bullied as a kid. And so at the beginning of the season, I was really rooting for the bullied. But then towards the end, they were kind of being dicks.
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing that I loved about this show was it flipped the script and it showed the side... from Johnny's side, where
it meant to flip the script.
I love that.
Right, and that not only that, but then later on in life,
no, he's still a douche.
Johnny was getting bullied, and then Daniel LaRusso was supposed to be this thing, but he was still having conflict and everything, from his lifestyle.
Yeah.
Look,
and then
they went out to
I like all the aspects, but I just think
it was so poorly put together. They went out to a bar together. They totally could have developed that friendship.
That was the best scene in the whole movie.
Well, they could have. John, I'm just saying they went out to a bar together. They could have developed that friendship in a way that wasn't so stupid. They just didn't.
I think
it's going to happen.
Hold on.
There's more.
I think they're going to. I think they're going to band together to defeat
the
Cobra Kai instructor.
Can't spoil it. Because the end was amazing, where that guy, one of them came back.
What do you mean spoil it? We've all seen it.
Yeah, but what about the other people?
Episode 10, I turned to
the listeners. Fuck the listeners.
Listener.
Crease.
Dear listener.
What the hell was his
don't
name?
bother.
Cress.
The last episode, in that last episode, I turned to Stuart and I said, it just got good. In that 10 seconds. But there's one scene.
It's hard to do a whole season in 5 hours, I think.
There's one scene where one of the kids or the protagonist one of the kids says to Billy Zabka, he says, I'm going on a date. Oh yeah, what are you going to do? He's like, oh, I'm going to take her to a planetarium and we're going to have a 3-way chocolate test, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that. He's like, the only thing I understood there was 3-way. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
That was so funny.
I laughed out loud. I was like, oh my God, he just said 3-way.
That was so funny. I agree.
His lines, like one an episode made me piss my pants. I was laughing so hard.
I don't think you're supposed to love all the characters. I think that's the point.
I hated LaRusso's wife. She's annoying as fuck. LaRusso is annoying as fuck. His daughter was cute, and I can't wait to see what she does. Billy Zabka, please let somebody else hire him for something. Like, please give him a chance.
Oh my God, and I have a crush on his kid. He's so cute.
Stuart and I spent the whole time saying, he looks like the kid from Boy Meets World. His friend from Boy Meets World.
But better.
But better, right.
But better.
But less douchey. Yes, but better.
Yeah, but more cute.
Totally adorable, especially when he tied his hair back and didn't look like the little Dutch boy painting thing.
Yeah,
so cute.
Anyway.
But that show, I said to Stuart, loved it, like John did. He loved it. I said, I'm so torn because some of it is so poorly written, and some of it is so funny, and some of it is just like, this doesn't push anything along. But you said it. It's 10 half-hour episodes. How could you I said, there are 2 episodes left. You haven't even talked about that stupid competition. I don't even know who's going to be fighting in it at this point. Like, what is happening?
I know. That's true. I mean, they were rushed, obviously, but I think it'll get better. It was a great show.
You don't think they could have?
Even if I hated everyone in it, it was great.
Okay, well, as long as you admit you hated at least more than half the characters, and it was still, I still enjoyed it. I'll tell you.
I do.
Okay, I still enjoyed it, but it was not excellent. Like, it was not TV. I watch things and I'm like, wow, this is really great writing. And the only things I'm telling you I loved were Johnny's lines of, the only thing I understood was, or why are you being such a dick? Talking to like a 9-year-old. Don't be such a dick.
Yes.
I was like, what are you doing?
It was so good.
That is so fucked up.
It.
Yeah, that was good. That part was good.
Watching him clean up his act and like help the bullied people, and like, it was great. Then watching them get mean and terrible was scary.
But he bullied them right back. He was the bully of those kids also. That was a tough one. And that nerd who didn't join.
Oh, yeah. He was the classic at the end. He's like, I think I'm going to try this.
That's my kid. That's Nathan.
Yeah, it was so funny.
I guarantee you that's
Nathan.
The
one point where the brother-in-law, Daniel's brother-in-law or his cousin went over there and tried and set Johnny's car on fire with 2 guys.
Gotcha.
And then he walked out there, and I was just like, this is going to go bad for those guys. I could see this happening now. But I just like I got into that whole story. I bought into all that. I liked all the characters.
Me too.
Every one of the characters. I couldn't find one thing wrong with that show. When I must have watched the last 2 episodes 4 or 5 times. Back to back.
Oh, I should rewatch them.
Just the last 2. The rest of the ones
definitely the one where they got drunk was like a surreal experience.
That was amazing.
Watching them
because they're sitting there.
Watching them rock out in the car to the same song was hilarious.
That was the best scene ever. What about
that was the best scene.
Is Elizabeth Shue coming back at all? You think she's gonna?
I can't believe she wasn't in this. Why wasn't she in this? What is she doing?
I don't think they need her. I hope they don't bring her back.
Really?
They don't need her for the story at all. Yes.
I don't like the end with LaRusso and his plans, which, again, dear listener, I will not ruin for you.
Russo's married.
What's it?
Russo's married. We don't need Allie.
Like, I want it to come out now. I wish they should be actually dropping it now.
Me too. They should have had it on the waiting. I know. When is it coming? Do you know?
I have no idea. But I always fought buying YouTube Red because I said there's no real reason for this. I'll wait through the commercials and stuff like that.
They didn't have independent programming.
Right. And then all of a sudden they dropped this. I'm like, now I got to buy this. So I bought, YouTube Red, and I also have YouTube TV. So I have it all. I have everything but cable, which is costing me as much as cable.
That's hilarious. I mean, I have everything but Hulu.
I was thinking about, what I'm trying to do is I don't watch TV at a TV anymore. Most of my TV watching is off my phone. I watch it in my room. I watch it in my truck. I never really turn my TV on.
You need an iPad if that's true.
Yeah, I have that too. But, it just, to me, I don't know. I love watching all these other shows, and
it's a very different model than it used to be. Cable used to run the world, and now you can.
Yeah, the cable wasn't working in my hotel room, and I was just like, so I didn't even notice because I just watched it on my computer.
It's a different world now.
And the thing about it is the way we watch TV is different now because I don't like waiting for a week. Like, in other words, I want all the episodes to drop so I can watch them when I watch them. Shameless.
That's obviously going to be a topic for our next podcast, the fact that our society has no ability to wait.
Right.
Even at a doctor's appointment. Like, there's no
let's
waiting.
Not get crazy.
Yeah.
Nobody has the tolerance for that.
I did that. Part of my comedy is, I remember, John, I wrote bits about how we can't wait to do anything. Right. We're so impatient.
Like, for Shameless, when that came out, I waited till everyone was out. And then I started watching it because I didn't want to wait from week to week to week. That's something, once you get done watching it, I'm I got to see what happens next.
For chocolate mouse cake, you just can't wait. I need it right now.
Right.
I need that mouse cake.
I got the 1-day delivery, so it should be here wait a minute, that means it should be here tomorrow, not 2 days.
We'll be right there.
Yes. Yes.
You could probably get on the train, get yourself to Junior's and back. You can get an Uber to Junior's and back by the time.
Well, here's the thing. When I was looking at this, when I was going to buy the cake, I'm like, well, the cake is $47, okay? And I'm like, wow, that's a lot for shipping. Then I thought to myself, how much would it cost me to drive to New York and get the cake and drive back? And it's cheaper to have it shipped than to drive there, go get it, and come back. So I'm like, okay, I'm down.
It is.
So
you're doing good.
Maybe the name of the episode should be Chocolate Mouse Cake.
Yes.
Oh yeah, give me the name. I got to make a graphic. Hey,
Chocolate
Jess,
Mouse
did you
Cake
like my
is
last
fine.
graphic with your son and?
How was my show notes?
Yes, it was amazing. It was beautiful.
They're great.
Speaking of my son, I probably should go relieve him from the company of his father.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to take my kids to lunch. They're off today. They've been totally quiet and patient. I'm going to take them for a big meal. Big meal.
Thank you guys, though.
Wrap it up, slip it,
yes.
wrap it down.
For those of you listening, thank you guys so much for listening. You can find us at brilliantobservations.com. You can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Listen Brilliant. If you would like to send us an email and tell us what you thought about Cobra Kai, Meghan Markle, or any of the other things that we discussed today,
Chocolate mouse cake.
Brilliant Observations.
Shitting your knickers.
Chocolate mouse cake.
Shitting your knickers.
Shitting your knickers. brilliantobservations@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We love you. Thank you guys so much.
Podshell and Nutcast.
That is our Podshell and a Nutcast.
Scary
Thank you.
flying shark. Bye.
Scary flying shark.